Okay. Good evening, everyone. This is the Gold Hill City Council regular council meeting on April 4th, 2022. This meeting is called to order. Okay, roll call, please.
Mayor Studebaker.
Present.
Councilor Bishon.
Here.
Councilor Rigney. He's walking in right now. Councilor Palmer.
Here.
Wilson.
Here.
Councilor Gina.
Here.
All right, we have a quorum.
Councilman Rigney is here now.
Oh.
Yes?
Are you muted?
No. Carrie, are we done with the roll call?
Yes, we are.
Did you get Rigney?
Yes, I did.
Okay, very good. Okay.
Sorry.
Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America,
and
to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Any agenda adjustments? Jerry?
No agenda adjustments.
Okay. Any announcements, correspondence, awards, proclamation?
Not this evening, Your Honor.
Public input, I believe we have Joel from Can Do. Is that correct? Is he the only person in the queue? You're on, Joel.
I'm just here in support of the agenda item related to the concert in the park. Carol is home is driving this to a large degree, but it is a Can Do sponsored activity, and Carol couldn't be here tonight, so I'm here in her stead to answer any questions when we get to that agenda item.
Okay, good. Thank you. We appreciate all the hard work that you do there in Can Do and helping our little community come back to life and act like a real town again. Very exciting.
Thank
you. Okay, consent agenda.
There are no items on the consent agenda.
So moving on. Okay, 7 action items. Number 1, fireworks ban for July 4th.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the council. This was brought up a few weeks ago. We wanted to get ahead of this issue and formally ban fireworks for Gold Hill for the 4th of July. I think it makes sense. I just think it would be a nice official act on part of the council just to show our commitment to a fire safe community. And with that, I'll be available to answer any questions.
Malia.
Sorry, now I'm unmuted. Okay. Yeah, I think we absolutely need to do this. And I just wanted also just to clarify some details, make it a ban, not just for the 4th of July, but for the entire fire season. And also the ban should also extend to the sale of fireworks as well as the use and possession, I guess, of fireworks. I think we want to be clear with the vendor, with the, the stores in town, that we don't want them selling fireworks because we don't want them being used in town. So, and they deserve some notice so that they don't, order these and then we come up at the last minute and say, oh, you can't sell those. We want to be respectful of, their business. So just those 2 clarifications. That's all I wanted to mention.
Have we had any fireworks sold in Gold Hill before?
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. I know last year, so I can't remember if it was Ray's. Ray's definitely had some. They're not the dangerous kind. They're not the ones that are, they're the ones that are legally allowed, which is basically sparklers and little things like that. But yeah. And years ago, there used to be a big fireworks stand right downtown, but I haven't seen that for quite a while.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything sold since I've been here for 6 or 7 years, but. Any other thoughts on Malia's point to expand it from not using fireworks to also not selling?
We won't run into any legal problems with that. I don't think we did that last year, I believe, did we not?
Yes. We banned the use of them, but we did not address the sale.
Right.
I see. I see.
And to Jerry's point, instead of, we sort of reacted to it last year, when we realized that fire danger was sky high and that this was something that we hadn't addressed. So now we're trying to do it in a way that, we certainly don't have anything against people celebrating, but just not in the middle of the fire season. So if you want to get fireworks, hang on to them and let's do it upright for New Year's when the ground is covered with water and snow. Any other thoughts, questions, comments, observations? We would entertain a motion if anyone wanted to advance something. Malia.
So I'll make a motion to ban the sale and use of fireworks during the fire season for the year of 2022 within the city limits of Gold Hill.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Counselor Bishop,
Yes.
Counselor Rigney,
Yes.
Counselor Palmer,
Yes.
Counselor Wilson,
Yes.
Counselor Gina,
Yes.
motion passed.
Thank you. 7.2, appointing a budget officer. Jerry?
My apologies. Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. What I'm trying to do this year is follow the League of Oregon Cities calendar as it pertains to budget preparation. And one of the first items that they have listed that we need to do is appoint a budget officer. In listening to a webinar last week, it's most commonly the city manager, or if I had a finance director, we can do that. Or you can appoint the recorder as a budget officer. My recommendation, or staff's recommendation, is just to appoint the city manager as a budget officer so we can proceed with the creation of our next fiscal year's budget. So it's basically just a formality that we have to assign or appoint a budget officer.
Whose main responsibility then is creating the budget?
That's correct. That's correct.
Any comments?
Do you want to do it, Jerry?
No, absolutely not, but I will. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Slacker. Given our
Yep.
thin numbers of 2 people running the entire inside of the city hall, I think it makes a lot of sense to formalize that title. Any other comments? Anyone opposed to that? We would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to appoint the city manager as the budget officer for the year of 2022.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Carrie?
Counselor Bishop,
Yes.
Counselor Rigney,
Yes.
Counselor Palmer,
Yes.
Counselor Wilson,
Yes.
Counselor Gina,
Yes.
passed.
Excellent. Thank you. 7.3, appointing a city council member to sign checks.
Yep, thank you, Mayor. Members of the council, as you know, we do have a current vacancy in our council. The councilor that left us, that resigned, was one of 3 signers for our checks. Currently, we have Councilor Wilson and Mayor Studebaker. We would like a 3rd member just to provide us some flexibility when we need checks signed. So I'll leave it up to the council to select that person, and we'll take it from there once we have that name.
Before we volunteer anyone, would anyone like to do such a thing? I think it happens twice a month, and it's an hour max to read everything and do your cross check. Not a big time commitment.
Well, I believe I had already volunteered for that last month.
Beautiful. So do we need to vote on that, or can we just appoint Bill Rigney as the volunteer for it?
It is an action item, so I'd like a vote.
Okay.
So everybody's approval.
Would someone please make a motion?
I'll make a motion to appoint Bill Rigney as a check signer on the city's checking account.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Carrie.
Counselor Bishop,
Yes.
Counselor Rigney,
Yes.
Counselor Palmer,
Yes.
Counselor Wilson,
Yes.
Counselor Gino.
Yep.
All right, motion passed.
Excellent. Thank you, Bill. We appreciate you taking on that additional work. 7.4, the use of Gold Hill Sports Park for the Sing into Spring event.
I'll make a motion on that. I motion to allow the use of the sports park for the Sing into Spring event.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. We have not had discussion. Anyone opposed to using the park and foregoing a small revenue stream to help that happen?
And Mayor, can we add to that the council is going to authorize food trucks and vendors to sell food and beverages at the event? It's per ordinance that we need the council approval in the park.
The person who made the motion, are you agreeable?
I am.
Okay. So Carrie, if you would please modify that motion. Anyone opposed or feel strongly one way or another about this? Joe Clark, would you like to add anything? Oh, is he still here? Looks like he's left us.
I am.
Oh,
Just thank you for considering it.
well, we appreciate the effort of getting our community back toward being a community. I think it's a great idea. The city walks away from a couple $100, you know, that's good business. It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Counselor Bishop,
Yes.
Counselor Rigney,
Yes.
Counselor Palmer,
Yes.
Counselor Wilson,
Yes.
Counselor Gino.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. 7.5, council member training.
Thank you, Mayor, and members of the council. This topic came up last month. The League of Oregon Cities had offered some training for council members, and I don't know if we have a process to select members to attend training. I can tell you that we do have a budget of $2,000 for training, and I just wanted to get the council's feedback as far as how you want to select people to go to the training. The staff report that I sent you last month had an incorrect figure on it. I think I said it was going to cost like $2,000 for training, going over the actual flyer for the training and taking into consideration lodging and per diem, probably somewhere between $700 and $1,000 per person per training. I'm a firm believer in training. It never hurts. So I just wanted to get the council's feedback on how we want to proceed.
What does this training consist of? Where is it? How long is it? What is it?
It's a 3-day training, and it's in. I'm trying to- There we go. Thank you, Mayor. And then the topics are listed in the League of Oregon Cities as far as what each council member would learn. I can get that to you guys. I don't have it pulled up right now.
I would like to reiterate on stuff like that. Training is good. We need to look at, because Brad and I went to one that's the same thing, but it was in Bend. And the workshops that they have available, and it's like any other organization or agencies, you need those workshops to grow in your position. So that's where I stand on that.
Malia.
Right. So I think this is just the return of their annual spring conference or something like that. And they just do a wide variety of workshops, relevant to cities. Some of it's relevant, some of it's not. As I recall, I looked at the offerings. I think there was an option to do it virtually, and I think that it makes sense to protect our budget and to use less resources and so on and so forth. To maybe, if somebody's interested in doing that, just ask them to do it virtually. It's great to go and network and actually meet people face to face, but I think that we could do this much more economically by doing it virtually. You just don't have to pay travel. It's basically just the cost of the registration, which I think was pretty minimal. So
You might want to see if anybody even is interested in it.
I'm interested in it, but I didn't want to just say, hey, I'm going. So, just thought we'd put the choice out there for other people.
I just emailed the conference agenda to everybody. Should be in our city email.
Yeah, I got it.
Jerry, were we able to reach anyone at RVCOG to see what local training was available?
I did reach out. I have not heard back, Mayor, since we just talked about that today. I haven't heard back from Ryan from RVCOG.
Yeah, I mean, I, for one, think that, most of us are newbies at this. I've been around for several years. Palmer's been around for several years. Janet's been around for several years. I think we can all use training. My question is simply, when we started several years back, we had that all-day session in Grants Pass. And I think we had 4 or 5 of the 6 that were there. Great turnout. I think we learned a lot. I'm, for one, I think it's great that Malia wants to go, but it's in Hermiston. And the mileage there, it's like an 8 or 10 hour drive one direction. It's really painful.
Brad,
So
I just said I'm very happy to go virtually. I don't need to drive there.
I just looked online and it does not, I don't see anything that says anything about there being any virtual options.
Okay, then maybe it's a different training that I'm remembering, but my intention is, I don't have any interest in going to Hermiston. I don't want to go if that's the case.
yeah.
Okay, it's not a good use of our resources. The training I was thinking of was also offered virtually, and I'll go back and look at it, but I thought that there was a virtual option for this. So yeah, I'm not interested in driving and spending nights in Hermiston. Sorry. That's not something I want to do, and it's not a good use of our resources. So if it's not available virtually, then I'm not interested in going.
Jerry, could we please have you follow up on that and maybe talk to RVCOG, see if they're going to offer that training again? I believe at one point they offered it every year. It was a standard thing for councils. And, CIS offered part of that training, which it's in their interest that we don't do stupid stuff and get the city sued. So let's see what's out there. Ron?
Well, on the other hand, virtual is okay, but I thought I just heard our city manager saying that we've already budgeted We had money in our budget for that. So if we don't use it for that, we'll lose it. However, and virtual's nice, yeah, if you have the time, but having somebody there to represent Gold Hill, that's a big factor too. You know, and someone like Malia, who would be really good, if you ask me, or Janet Wilson, or counselors that are really intelligent and that are people friendly. That's what we need. We need someone there to represent Gold Hill. And you know that as well as I do, Brad.
Affable even. No, I am all for waving the flag, but I'm more interested in what we can learn. And I think there's a lot of utility in our entire council going. I mean, I'd love to do some more training. It's been several years now, and you know, we sometimes forget stuff. So Jerry, could you please find out if there are any local options, if they're planning on doing an offering like they did, what year was that, 17, 16?
Yeah, this thing that they're doing in Hermiston isn't like what we did 3 years ago or 4 years ago, whenever we did it. That was just a little one-day thing. This thing goes on for 3 days, and it's totally different. So I'm not sure if it's offered by the same people. I don't remember who gave the one we went to.
I know that CIS was right in the middle of that. And again, I mean, they're interested in us understanding what we can and cannot do in order for us not to get sued, which is great. I mean, no one wants that. I think the LOC was more of a networking thing, but big difference going to Bend versus Hermiston.
Okay, so I'll do some double checking. Counselor Bieshite, I'll be in touch with you. We can maybe double check and see if they have a virtual component for that particular conference. I see it's 22nd, so we need to get on it pretty quick. But I'll find out, and then I'll contact RVCOG as well.
And thank you, Malia, for offering to do the heavy lifting of getting trained. We can always benefit from that. Okay, 7-6, vacant city council seat.
All right, thank you, Mayor and members of the council. As you know, we had Councilor Hinckley resign, which leaves us a vacancy. To put it simply, we have 3 options. One, we can hold a special election, which obviously would cost money if we did that now. We can wait until November when we have regular council elections, or the council can select a process to appoint somebody to fill that vacancy until the election in November. And so I turn that over to the council for consideration, and we'll stand by for your direction.
Why don't we throw it open and kind of go round robin? We have 3 options. Number 1, leave the seat vacant. Anyone like that one?
No.
Yeah. We got work to do. I think a full council is a good thing.
Easier to get the quorum.
Easier to get the quorum. Yep, we're all busy. Number 2, appoint a city resident to hold a seat until November. So it would be what, 6 months or so in duration, 8 months. And then they need to run like any other councilman. How do we feel about that?
I'm for that.
Malia's up for it. Ron, Janet, Eric.
Yeah.
I'm for it.
Do we have to make a motion on this as an action item?
It is on our agenda. We probably should.
Okay.
And then the final option would be hold a special election, but that's some real money. So probably $500 for a special election, huh, Jerry?
It's more than that, actually. I know in California, yeah, it's quite a bit.
I think last time we had a special election, it was $500 or $700, and
That's not too
nothing's
bad.
gotten cheap. So yeah, it's not inexpensive. Would someone offer a motion to appoint a city manager, a city resident to the council and hold the seat until the election. And I would say part of that process is they apply, we evaluate their
Of
applications,
course.
we have a round robin discussion and think through it. So we can get the best possible person of the pool of applicants.
So I believe possibly the motion is to open a short period for applications, or just simply make the motion to appoint a city resident. That's my question.
I think, Jerry, I think our motion is to appoint an interim person until the election, but part of that process, I think it's only reasonable that we take applications and evaluate the applications before we vote for our favorite bartender.
Yeah. All right, then I will make the motion to appoint a city resident to the city council to hold the seat until the November 2022 election.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Carrie?
Okay, Counselor Bishon,
Yes.
Counselor Rainey, Brittany,
Yes, I can hear her.
Counselor Palmer,
Yes.
Counselor Wilson,
Yes.
Counselor Gino,
Yes.
motion passed.
Excellent. Thank you, council. All right, that goes through our action items. Wrapping things up here, are there reports from counselors?
One more thing on that last one, we do need to set some kind of a timeline for accepting applications, like through the end of this month or something. So there needs to be a deadline set for that.
Okay,
Um,
that's 3+ weeks. Does that sound reasonable to the end of April?
First meeting in, our first meeting in May.
May.
If we have all the applications by the end of April, then we can go over them in our first meeting in May.
And it's a hard deadline. That's when people need to get their applications in.
All right.
So it needs to be posted on the website. I know, I guess that's the only way we would, and we could post it around town, paper copy.
Facebook.
Facebook. On our Facebook blogs. Yep.
I'm not on it, so
Okay, are there any report, is that, anyone else have anything on that issue? Are we satisfied with taking applications to the end of April and then evaluating, making a decision at our next council meeting in May?
I'm good.
We'll take that silence as agreement. Item 8, reports from counselors. Anyone have an activity they'd like to report? Let us all know about what you've been doing.
Well, we're still working the beach. The guys are still working the beach. They ground up below my property pretty good. And we're going to be in communications with the schools and the organizations as far as getting the volunteerism. I'm just putting the plan together a little bit better and better, just working out trying to beat some of them devils out of them details.
Good.
And also the guys are doing a great job on the park again. The park is looking better and better. The beach and the bike paths getting better all the time. Removing a lot of wood.
Yep.
It's good.
That's not our friend if there's a fire.
That's right. Firewise.
On the Firewise Committee, we've had several meetings. We have a core of, we're calling it a steering committee, just a handful of people that can kind of form a board. We'd love to have a couple more. Again, our next meeting, we're going to be scheduling appointments with the Fire District 3. And the process here is, I think we're looking at, so I don't know, 100 houses or something. And we agreed to put in a certain number of hours, an hour a house, so 100 hours in this coming year. In order to reduce the fire risk, removing fuel, especially within 5 feet of the household. 30 feet is the optimal fire barrier that we can protect. And again, there's, in addition to your satisfaction of seeing the edges of your house again, you also reduce the risk of having a catastrophic fire. And oh, by the way, there are dollars out there, and with communities such as ours, which have been active in kind of helping themselves, there will be state and federal dollars available. So keep your ears open. There'll be more meetings to be announced. There'll be one next Monday at 6 p.m. Anyone who's interested, please come on, join us. And it's really kind of a self-help group. We're just gonna have the fire district come out, identify things we can do to make our households safer, get signed off on it, sort of get our gold star, our credit for having done the effort. And we can be considered as a community for pots of money downstream.
Right.
Any other counselors? Department reports.
Nothing from the city manager's office. Everything's running smooth.
Carrie?
I'm working on some budget stuff, cleaning up some Excel spreadsheets, starting over the new year, and getting Jerry some information so we can do the budget.
Great. Keep up the good work. We appreciate it.
Yes.
And finally, item 10, good of the order.
I think I try to make my thing is like the good of the order for what we're doing for the town too, just like all the rest of us are.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, good. Thank you, team. We appreciate you being here. Sorry about the connectivity issues. I know all about them. It's a jungle out there. Okay. So this meeting, April 4th, City Council regular meeting is now adjourned.
Guys.